In Syria, heavy artillery and airstrikes continue to pound neighborhoods south of the capital, Damascus. Syrian state troops are trying to oust Islamic State group fighters from the last area near Damascus that's not under the control of President Bashar al-Assad. That latest fighting comes as the EU and the UN are trying to drum up more money to help Syria and are hoping to breathe new life into the Geneva peace process. Aid groups and donor countries are meeting today in Brussels for the 7th annual conference on Syria's future. Dave Keating's covering this story for us from Brussels. He joins us now from there. Dave, this is the first conference on Syria since the alleged chemical attack and the international missile strikes. What kind of effect might that have on the work being done there today?
Yeah, this is coming in a very new context. For one thing, the Syrian civil war, which is now in its 8th year, does appear to be winding down. President Bashar al-Assad is getting the upper hand against various rebel factions, and that is causing some relief here amongst the donor community because it does mean the possibility of a political solution that can get the humanitarian crisis under control. Now, there's 2 days of this event. We're in the first day now. That's a dialogue with aid organizations. Those are the people that are actually delivering the aid on the ground. Tomorrow we'll have the high-level political summit. That's when foreign ministers from 85 delegations across the world will be coming here to discuss possible political solutions and possibly making pledges for more aid. But of course, as you mentioned, this is coming in the shadow of that recent alleged use of chemical weapons by President Assad and the U.S.-led missile strikes in response to that alleged use of chemical weapons. I can tell you, people here today do not view those missile strikes very favorably because there is a fear that they will prolong this conflict and it will make it harder for them to reach the people in need on the ground. But of course, the people here today are the aid organizations. Their main concern is the humanitarian aspect of this crisis. Tomorrow will be the foreign ministers, and they will have possibly more geopolitical concerns on their minds, so you'll probably see more support for those missile strikes here tomorrow. But the overall theme of this summit, which unites both today and tomorrow, is the idea that a political process is necessary and that a military solution isn't going to work. You had the EU's High Representative for Foreign Affairs, Federica Mogherini, kind of summing up the idea of the day when she said that she wants to use this conference to send a clear message to the international community that the fighting has to stop and a political process has to start. So that's the main theme that is uniting both the aid organizations and the foreign ministers that are meeting here today. But tomorrow is the day when we'll see if people are really willing to put their money where their mouth is.
Dave, just very briefly before you go, what is expected to come out of that summit when it wraps tomorrow? How much money are we talking about?
Well, the EU has already pledged $10.6 million that's coming from the EU itself and its member states. It's hoping, people are talking that maybe that can be even doubled tomorrow, but we don't really have hard figures on the table yet. But of course, the push for this is coming because the humanitarian disaster, even as the military situation gets better, the situation for the need of humanitarian aid has gotten worse since the beginning of this year. That'll be the big message tomorrow.
Dave, thank you for that. Dave Keating there reporting for us from Brussels.